Happy Sunday. My ear is bothering me. Oh, I don't know why. I hope you guys had a great week. Take off those earrings. My ear is red. All right, let some people come in. Oops, somebody's calling me. Can't call me right now. Tell them I'm on live. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Tell me in the comments how your week has been. What did you do? Did you accomplish something? Let me know. Hi, Pedro. Of course. I love spending Sunday with you guys. I love it. I actually worked all weekend. So I had a family come in from the down towards Miami Homestead, and they are selling their houses there, so they have to find a house here. So they actually want to be in the Davenport area. So it's a daughter who she has her son. She's gonna live in the Davenport Haines City area, and then her parents are going to also live in the same area. They were like, we want to be close, but not too close. We don't need to be in the same community. I was like, I felt that. I think like with my kids, I'm like, do you want to leave home? You sure? Especially my oldest. I know my oldest, the first chance he gets, he's going to be out. But it's okay. So this week for us was very, very, very busy, blessed and busy. Blessed and busy. We had a few closings, and we finally closed on my one of my favorite families, their house. They're gonna eventually move from Miami to Ocala. We got them a really, really nice house in Ocala. I'm super freaking excited for them. She brought me quesitos de coco from Miami, and she was like, I'm gonna be in Ocala. And I was like, I'm not gonna be in Ocala until Wednesday. So then we also had a closing on Friday with one of my clients who utilized the Hometown Heroes program. And guess what? Her cash to close, can you believe this? She bought a house for $79. That was her cash to close. $79. That's all she had to bring to the table. We even got her deposit back at closing. So technically, yeah, her cash to close. So this is what happened. So she put in a $3,000 deposit. Her cash to close was $79, and so she ended up just getting a check at closing. But I want to talk about that real quick. So number one, I was talking about Hometown Heroes till I was blue in the face in my videos. I put y'all on. I was like, listen, Hometown Heroes, if you guys need, if you guys are a little bit short on cash and things like that, this is a great, great, great program. As soon as I heard that they were coming back, I said it all in my videos, right? So she took advantage and she only needed $79. I was like, what? But let's talk about that closing real quick. So in the state of Florida, when as you guys know, we close with a title company, right? So essentially the seller picks the closing title, the title office, right? Unless the buyer wants to, but then they're going to incur more costs. So the seller, it's normally the seller picks it here in Florida, at least Central Florida. So the seller chose a title company that was not located in Ocala, and that's where we were closing, in Ocala. That's where the house was, right? So we had two different options. Option number one was to go to the listing agent's office, that I guess they had an office in Ocala, and close there, or close at the house that my buyers are going to purchase. Perfect. Okay. Either way, we need a mobile notary. Okay. So the night before, Thursday night, apparently the mobile notary calls my client, and she's like, hey, there's probably no furniture there. Can we meet at McDonald's to close? So my client calls me in the morning. I'm on my way to Ocala. We're gonna do the walkthrough first, and then we're gonna close. She's like, Alexis, she's asking if we could close at a McDonald's. And when I told her no, she was threatening me to go, that she'll turn right back around and go home. And I was like, no way. Like, I have never heard of somebody closing in a McDonald's. So she's like, let me three-way you. So I get on the phone. And she's like, oh, we could either close. She was nice enough to give us options, right? She was like, we could either close at a McDonald's or a Wendy's. And I was like, how about none of those? Like, we're not closing at a McDonald's or a Wendy's. And she, of course, I think some people feel entitled, right? And they're like, well, I've been doing this for over 20 years and I've never had an issue. I've closed at multiple McDonald's and all that other stuff. I was like, well, today's going to be the day that you don't close at a McDonald's. Because how are we going to close one of the most important purchases of someone's life at a McDonald's? Number one, there's very sensitive information that we need to go over with the closing disclosures and all of that stuff, right? You have different people in and out of McDonald's. You're going to hear beeping. You're going to hear people yelling that their order wasn't right. You're going to hear managers screaming at the workers that the fries need to get picked up out of the order. Like, what? No. And so the mobile notary, she was like, oh, well, I had surgery a couple of months ago on my knee and all that. And I'm like, listen, I was like, we have a foldable chair in my car. Maybe that could work for you. I was like, or they're going to need to send somebody else, but we're closing today and we're not closing at a McDonald's. So we ended up going to the house and closing. Like the mobile notary came to the house and we closed at the house. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, we were not going to close at McDonald's. Like, no. Hi, Cosette. Yes, we definitely had a productive week. 79 closing. Yes, $79 closing. Pedro. Yes, the food smells like what? We are not about to close a house in McDonald's. Like, I've never, ever, ever heard of that. And again, this is where you need an advocate for you, because sometimes somebody, maybe a buyer, or they're like, well, I don't know, I guess we're gonna close out of No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was in shock just as much as you guys are in shock right now. I was like, there's just no way that we're gonna be closing at a fast food restaurant. Like, negative. So she was upset. She was very condescending when we were like having conversations during the closing and things like that. But I don't care. You could be as condescending as you want to. We got what we wanted. We're closing at the house, not at a McDonald's. So in my eyes, you could feel however you want to feel. And if you and again, if you're uncomfortable, if you had recently had surgery, then maybe it's kind of like you shouldn't have picked this closing, right? You had the option to accept the closing or not, right? That's usually what happens. Closing in McDonald's is unprofessional, Pedro. Yes, on so many different levels, Pedro, on so many different levels. Shock level 10. Yes. Maybe she was hungry. That's the universe giving me a good laugh, because a few weeks ago I was closing with one of my clients, and we were at the title office for, no lie, like 3 hours, right? And there was something with they had to get done, blah 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 blah. Mind you, there was no water, no snacks, nothing. All our mouths are dry and stuff like that. I already drank all my juice, because you guys know that I have my Starbucks cup everywhere. But it was already done, and I had nothing. I was like, I was commenting about in my Instagram stories. I was commenting about how not very demure and mindful and classy that it was to not have water or coffee or even a freaking peanut butter cracker or something. So this is the universe making fun of me. Oh, you hungry? Well, we're gonna have a closing at McDonald's, and you're gonna have all the food there. Joelle said, can you give us a quick comment on the home insurance situation in Florida? I mean, the home insurance aspect in the Central Florida area really hasn't, I can't say has been affected, right? There were a lot of carriers who no longer write policies in Florida, but there's still plenty of different home insurance carriers here in Florida. So in the Central Florida area, I mean, the premiums are not up. My clients were, so especially in Ocala, they were like 968 for the year for homeowners insurance. So a lot of the places in Central Florida is not going to have flood insurance required, is not in a flood zone, right? So, and if you even, so the closing that I had on Friday, that was actually an older home. It was built in 2008, and my client's lowest quote for insurance, and that's the one she took, was about 1325 for the year for a 2008 build. But mind you, remember, when you're going, and what do you guys think about me having a home insurance agent come on the live? Like, let me know if you guys think that would be very, very helpful for you to maybe alleviate some anxiety, concerns, answer any questions that you may have. Because I think that would be a good idea. Yeah, I think so too, Joelle. Hi, Kiki. I was just telling them about our McDonald's situation. Michael said, heading to Orlando in January, will like for you to be my realtor. Yes, I think you did send us an email, and I replied. You sent it to a different email, so I replied with my work email. So let me know if you received it, because I even followed up with you just to make sure that we connected, because I definitely want to connect. Phil said, is it better to buy a home under your own name or trust? That's a really good question. What would you say? Is it better to buy a home under your own name or a trust?
Honestly, it depends on what you're trying to do business-wise. So if you're trying to remain anonymous, then you...
Yeah, I definitely feel it depends on what kind of like, what's the end goal, right? Like, if you're gonna put it in a business, or it's a trust that you have a family trust, right? It's just that's gonna make it easier, like, down the road when it gets handed down to your kids and things like that. LLC, it's just going to depend on what the purpose. If it's an investment, I do see a lot of investors buy their homes in LLCs. Pedro said, sounds good. Yes, that would be perfect. Yeah, I definitely think that that would be a good idea. Just to have a homeowner's insurance agent come on, because of course she's right. She or he is dealing with multiple quotes a day, different scenarios. So I'm going to work on that. Next week, I will not be on live because your girl is going away for the weekend. So I'm excited about that. So we will not have a live next Sunday, but I will work on getting an insurance agent maybe the following week. Because you guys know that I'm constantly trying to provide as much value as I possibly can. So mortgage rates are falling slowly, but they are falling. So that's always nice. What I want to mention too is that I want to make sure you guys know how the builders incentives work. Pedro said not McDonald's. Pedro, I cannot make this up, Pedro. I cannot make this up. Like I was in disbelief that somebody was literally trying to ask us to close a house in McDonald's. So I want to make sure that this, you guys know how incentives work, right? So builders incentive, if you're going to go with a new builder, right? They oftentimes are offering incentives, right? They're offering closing cost incentives. They're offering special interest rates, right? But that is always tied into... Hi, Felipe. Yes. You'll be hearing from us very, very soon. Yes, I'm so excited. Okay, so incentives. Most of the time, the incentives are tied to the lender, the builder's preferred lender, and the builder's preferred home insurance company. Okay, so for example, Richmond American Homes. Okay, so if they are advertising that they're offering, let me write this down because I want to make sure that I have to write it down. Hold on. All right. So I know you're not the kind of professional person. Yeah. Okay. So Richmond American, right? If they are offering a 4.25 interest rate, right? They're advertising that they're offering a 4.25 interest rate FHA. Now, remember, of course, you have to have the credit and all that stuff, right? But if they're also offering, let's just put a number, $20,000 towards closing cost, right? What's gonna happen is that with that $20,000, they are going to buy down the rate to that 4.25 interest rate, right? So I'm going to give you numbers on a client that we're about to go under contract for. Same scenario. So their house is going to be $337,000 with a 4.25 interest rate. And let's just say $20,000 towards closing cost. Okay. Now, with that $20,000, it's going to cost them $6,600 to get the interest rate that low to 4.25, right? So what you have to do is then just take the 20,000 minus the 6,600, and you're going to be left with 13,400. Now, with the 13,400, remember, for the most part, the closing costs are about 4%. And you guys know that I'm not a lender, okay? So any numbers I always say is solely estimates, okay? So essentially, if the closing cost comes out to 4%, right, of the total purchase price, which is the $337,000, that comes out to $13,480. Now, you have an $80 difference. So for the most part, it covers all of your closing costs plus that rate buy down, right? So it's going to make a big difference in your monthly payments when you have that special interest rate. Now, some builders are also, so for example, Richmond American is like, okay, either you take the 4.25 interest rate and I'll give you example, $20,000 towards closing costs, or you could take a 3.99 interest rate and I'm going to give you 10,000 towards closing costs, right? So if you take the 3.99 interest rate, you're going to come out more out of pocket in the front end because you're going to have to pay for the rest of the closing costs, right? As opposed to not coming out of pocket as much with the 4.25, but you're gonna have a difference in mortgage payment, like about a little bit over $100. I think it's like $150, right? So I met with a beautiful family today, and you guys know I normally don't work Sundays, but I will work Sundays with exceptions, right? If somebody only has off Sunday, right, I'm gonna make it happen. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm very much flexible when I can be. So we met today, and I explained to them the same situation, like what looks better for you. And for them specifically, they'd rather have the lower monthly payment. They'd rather come out more out of pocket as at the closing table and have the lower interest rate, so that they're saving like about $150 per month, right? So everybody is different. And I also want to make sure that I'm very clear on this as well, right? Because I know a lot of like, what can I get? Like, what's the best deal I can get, right? From builders or going under contract in general, okay? So let's talk about that real quick. So I want to make sure that you know that everything is essentially a deal in the sense of pertaining to your situation, right? For example, I have a client who we're gonna go under contract now with a DR Horton home, and her credit is lower than what essentially it should be. So she has a house to sell that's already under contract. It's gonna close, right? But all her money is tied into that house, right? When you're buying a house, you have to give in an earnest money deposit. Okay. And that's going to vary with the builder. If you're doing a resale home with the seller, or if you're doing like an Ocala new construction home, it's all going to vary with the builder. Okay. So with this situation with DR Horton, they require, I want to say it was like almost $9,000 as a deposit, right? But a lot of the times it's like, okay, well, all my money is wrapped into my house that I'm selling. Like, where am I coming up with this, right? So that's where you got me, because I'm going to try to negotiate as much as I possibly can to bring that out of pocket in the very beginning as low as possibly, as humanly possible, right? So for us, the builder was like, okay, give me $1,000 the house to take the house off of the market, and then when you close on that property, then you'll give the rest of the deposit, right? So that's a negotiation, right? Like, that's a deal. That's a deal, because number one, she's still getting $18,000 towards closing costs, so it's going to cover all of her closing costs, right? She still will have a little bit of money to buy down the rate as much as she can, right? And she's able to go under contract and like lock in today's price, right? So I always, she also wanted to get the house a little bit lower, right? But we weren't able to do that. But that's okay though, right? Because if we were able to get the house $2,000 less, number one, that's not going to be a huge difference in your monthly payments. That's number one. Number two, we wouldn't even be able to go under contract because you need $8,000, right? So I want you guys to always remember, we need to look at everything as a whole and see what is happening, right? Because sometimes I have people who are like, well, I didn't get $5,000 off the purchase price, right? But we got A, B, C, and D, right? So there's always things that happen to be able to make a transaction, get us to the closing table, right? So I just want you guys to keep in mind, sometimes it's not always negotiating the purchase price, right? It's negotiating the terms, right? It's negotiating, holy crap, what am I going to do? Let me tell you another one. So I have a beautiful family coming from Riverview to Ocala. He ended up liking Kalesa Township. So he's going to build a house there from the ground up. Okay. Same situation. All his money is tied into the house in Riverview, right? So it's like, okay, what are we gonna do, right? Because sometimes the builder is like, I don't know, right? So we negotiated. The VP got on the phone with us, and he's my client is a veteran, right? And we were able to secure the lot with $1,000, and then we don't have to worry about the rest until almost closing, which the house is already going to be sold by then, right? So it's stuff like that. Sometimes maybe that's more important than the purchase price. And honestly, $2,000 on a purchase price is not going to make a difference. I'd rather get that $2,000 towards closing costs. But anyways, we ended up getting her $19,000. So the one who's going to close in DR Horton, we ended up getting her $19,000 towards closing to try to give her as much possible to be able to buy down that interest rate, right? Oh, my husband was like, you need to talk about this. Hold on, guys. Let me tell y'all. Okay, number one, I feel better. Thank you for everyone who was I was in your prayers, hoping that I felt better. Thank you so much. I definitely do feel so much better. So we toured, and that's gonna come on next Tuesday. So DR Horton has a new community in Wildwood, Florida. So if you're coming from Orlando and you're going to Ocala, you're gonna hit Wildwood before you do Ocala. Wildwood, Florida, where this community is literally 10 minutes away from the Villages. Now, this community, I know that I have a lot of people who like the Camden, DR Horton Camden's floor plan, right? Which is the 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 3-car garage, almost 2,900 square feet, because it has a separate in-law suite. So the in-law suite has its own kitchenette with a refrigerator, a sink, cabinets, right? It has a little living room, it has a bathroom, and it has a bedroom. So they are building this floor plan. They're actually building like 15 different floor plans. What I like about this community is that where the Camdens are going to be, I didn't even mention that in the video. Oh, now I'm just remembering. Where the Camdens are going to be located, it's actually going to be gated in the gated community. So the HOA is $113 per month, but it takes care of the lawn maintenance and amenities galore. You're gonna have a resort style pool. You're gonna have a lap pool. You're gonna have an exercise room. You're gonna have fire pits. You're gonna have like a recreational lawn type thing. You're gonna have like a yoga lawn. You're gonna have so much stuff. What else? Hammock area, pickleball courts, dog park, playground. So their Camden is starting in the $500,000 range. What I like about this though, because it has that half bathroom, right? So it's a 4, 3.5. So of course, the master bedroom has their own bathroom. The other 2 bedrooms has a Jack and Jill bathroom, and then the in-law suite has its own bathroom, and then you're gonna have that half bathroom in the main house for your guests, right? You guys know I always say we don't need the guest in nobody's bedroom or nothing like that. No, half bathroom, perfect. So they're gonna have, like I said, like 15 different floor plans. The lowest floor plan the lowest price floor plan they have is gonna be their Alex floor plan, which is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. I want to say it's around 1,600 square feet, and that's gonna be priced at $295. So 10 minutes away from the Villages, you literally have all of the stores, really nice restaurants. Wolfgang Puck has a restaurant over there, like really, really, really nice location. And what else? They're building a Target over there. I love my Target. There is a CDD. So the CDD is going to depend on the lot size. So if we're talking about the Camden, it's going to be $2,321 per year, which gets rolled into your taxes. And so when I did the math, when I was doing the breakdown, I think it came out to like 6,000 yearly taxes, which is not bad because I live in a community with a CDD and all we have is a pool. We don't have no exercise room, fire pits, yoga lawn, dog park. So that's pretty good. So if you're open to that video is going to be there next Tuesday. Yeah, next Tuesday. Wilfredo said he didn't have a good time with Ryan Holmes. I got the interest rate locked while interest rates were going down. So if you get an interest rate, so when you lock in your interest rate, right? Sometimes you only have like one time to do like a float down, and that's usually within 2 weeks from closing. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of Ryan Holmes in this sense of I just don't like how they treat their like outside real estate agents. Pedro said, is it better to ask for concessions? Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Rewind. All builders are great. Is it better to ask for concessions off home costs rather than the closing costs if taxes are based on the sales price, not the appraised value? Let me read that one more time. Is it better to ask for the concessions off the home cost rather than the closing cost if taxes are based on the sales price and not the appraised value? No. I personally, I would rather much have closing cost incentives than purchase, like taking money off the purchase price. Yeah, we can negotiate like maybe 10,000, because even with the bigger builders, I've negotiated at least about 10,000 off the purchase price plus the like closing costs, right? So that's possible. But the reason why is that you're not going to get super low on the home cost, right? So if, let's say, we're getting 20,000 in closing costs, there's no way that they're going to give us 20,000 off of the purchase price unless they already have started trickling sometimes they overprice the houses, right? So sometimes the builders are they're just like putting the house ridiculously high, it's sitting, and then it slowly starts coming down, right? But most of the time they're not going to come much more down from that, because what also everybody has to think about is appraisal values as well, right? Because the moment you start selling the house for nothing, then it's gonna mess with all the appraisals so in the community. So also, you also want to think about is that me personally, I rather, like, instead of taking $5,000 off the purchase price, I rather get 20,000 in closing costs, because that's essentially I'm saving, not having to come out of pocket with my closing cost. What is the fastest you have closed on a home? The fastest I personally have closed on a home is like 10 days. And that was a cash transaction. But, even with conventional loans, you can close in about 14 to 20 days. It depends on how clean your file is, right? It's like if everything is just freaking black and white and you get everything that you need to get submitted to the lender, then you can close fairly quickly. What happens on a cash transaction is the title company has to still go through like the searches and things. Alexis Diaz, she got us. I absolutely do. We were thinking Ocala for the longest time, but I'm not ready to retire yet. I'm considering a condo, no yard work, etc. I mean, condos are nice, but you definitely want to think about like the HOA, right? Because sometimes, when it comes to condos, sometimes you have a HOA and you have a condo fee, right? So sometimes these HOA condo fees are like $700 per month, and you still have a mortgage on top of that or stuff like that, right? And it depends on what the condo, what is that fee including, right? That's why I always want you guys to think about, like, what am I getting for this? I'm giving you $700. What am I getting? Maybe it's the outside insurance, right? So that's a good thing, right? Maybe it's the resort style amenities or things like that, right? You have to see what's important to you. Yeah, condo maintenance are crazy. There's this one condo community in Orlando. Listen to me right now. They have crazy assessment fees, like ridiculous assessment fees that there's so many condos in that community for sale because they're trying to get out of that. Those assessment fees are like freaking $20,000-$30,000, which is crazy. So yes, you definitely just want to make sure that you're doing your homework when it comes to the condos. What are we doing tomorrow? Tomorrow our house, we did St. Cloud, we did Jones Homes. I actually have clients who are closing on their home this Tuesday or Wednesday, one day this week. They bought it at the reserves at Twin Lakes. Beautiful community. They bought it from the ground up. They have a beautiful freaking lot. Their lot backs up to conservation. So there's not going to be building behind there. And I'm super excited for them. So we recorded a couple of months ago, we recorded their Torrey Pines, which was that really big, the second floor balcony and pool, and we recorded their Woodmere 2. I told you guys that we're gonna start doing kind of like I wanted to do like a luxury Thursday type thing, just so that we can explore luxury homes here in the Central Florida area. I won't be mad if I sell a couple of those. I'm manifesting that I'm gonna sell some multi-million-dollar homes. You guys mark my word. Also, let me see. Hold on. We also have the Sunshine State Living. Guys, what's going on? I only have 29 subscribers. Oh my gosh. I have 9 views in 22 hours. What is going on? This is a brand new channel. This is more of a lifestyle channel. So we need to just build it up. Let me put it in here. Make sure you go like, comment, subscribe, share it. I know that these videos that I'm posting, I already have posted on this page, but I'm just trying to move it over to the next page, and that one is just going to be all lifestyle. So I found, one of my coaches found this glamping opportunity in Ocala, which I want to do a lifestyle video on. So this community, this like glamping area, they rescue animals. So you already know that's super like close to my heart. So I think they had like a zebra and all this other stuff that you can like interact with while you're glamping. So I'm hoping to do like a lifestyle video on that. But I went ahead and let me see, that is the Sunshine State Living. Just kind of showing you what Florida has to offer. We started in Ocala just because we have a lot of people moving to the Ocala area and interested in the Ocala area. So we wanted to go ahead and just kind of show you a few things that Ocala has to offer. What we're going to do is that not next week, but thank you, Pedro. But the week after, so next week is going to be the question center, which probably you guys have saw already. But the week after is probably going to be the zip lining one. We went zip lining in Ocala, and then we did the Silver Springs when we went kayaking. So yeah, definitely make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to build up that channel as well, and just see how it goes. But do you guys have any questions that I can help answer? I had a few things. Let me see. I made meatloaf today for the kids, and I'm not number one, I'm not a meatloaf type of person. Number two, I'm not really a crock pot type of person, but I did meatloaf in the crock pot, and it doesn't taste too bad. But for me, the meatloaves are like super dry. We're gonna have to make a gravy or something. Hold on. You love meatloaf, Phil? I don't know. I haven't had somebody like make it really moist, because I sure didn't. I tasted it and I was like, this is dry. We're gonna have to put some barbecue sauce or ketchup or something. Where is my? Okay, let me see. So remember, guys, we only cover Ocala. We cover all of Central Florida, from Ocala down to Tampa and everywhere in between. There's nothing that irks my nerves when somebody tells me, I didn't know you cover Orlando. I'm like, listen, Ocala down to Tampa and everywhere in between. So that's Davenport, Haines City, Winter Haven, all of that. Claremont, Mineola, Winter Garden. We're starting to try to get more videos out in the other areas. You know, it's just the prices, the incentives are so good in like the Davenport, Haines City, Winter Haven area, right? You guys know that I got you. I'm trying to, get you the best I possibly can. But we're gonna go do I don't know if you guys ever seen the Xberry floor plan, which is Lancy Homes Builder. So they have the model home in Claremont, Florida. However, they're not selling any more of that specific floor plan in that community. So they're selling in a community called Story Creek, which is in Kissimmee. So we're gonna go ahead and showcase that floor plan in that community. But again, remember, a lot of these builders build the same floor plans in different communities. And of course, different communities, different areas, you're going to have different prices, okay? Because a lot of the times you're paying for the location. Okay. And then we also are going to do Onyx Homes. They're very, very interesting. My husband went to go do some recording, and they basically like build certain parts of the homes and right, Vic? With Onyx Homes, they build. You want me to call you babe?
Whatever you want.
I called him Vic. He was like, I know you're not talking to me, babe. Onyx Homes. They what part of the homes did they build like at a manufacturer site?
So all the slabs are concrete. So all the slab making is made in South Florida.
So all the slabs are concrete and they're made in South Florida.
And then they're pieced together like the new magnetic tiles that kids love right now.
Oh, and they're pieced together like the new magnetic tile, like the magnetic tiles that kids like to put together. That's so it's different. They're different builders. So we're gonna explore their floor plans. They're in like the Mascot Groveland area. So there's definitely there's a lot of building happening here in the Central Florida area. Of course, you have like your Orlando, your Everbees, which I love that community. I love Everbee community. I love how close it is to everything, how close it is to the airport and things like that. Thank you. You subscribe to all of our yes. Thank you. Guys, I absolutely love y'all. Like for real. You guys are my family. I appreciate you guys. You need to use pork, beef, and veal. I don't think I've really had veal before. So guys, I was today years old. So growing up, as you guys know, I was telling you my life story last Sunday, I think, when I was a little teary-eyed. I don't normally get emotional, right? I think it was because I was sick. Anyways, so growing up, I was always staying at friends' house. I was staying with family, right? I never really like stood with like I didn't have stability. Okay. I'm telling you, I was always at somebody else's house. So I remember when I used to live in the Bronx, the girl downstairs, we went to the same school, right? And I went with her family to I feel like it was somewhere in upstate New York. Mind you, I was younger at this time. This was like elementary school. And she put me onto this sandwich. So it's I like it with Wonder Bread, because Wonder Bread is Wonder Bread a New York thing? Because I grew up on, is it a New York thing, babe?
I don't think so.
You see, I called you babe. So I put it on Wonder Bread, right? So you take a Wonder Bread, a slice of white bread, whatever. You put peanut butter, creamy peanut butter, and you put the marshmallow fluff, and you eat it like that. It's like, I never knew what it was called until I was researching today, because I wanted to make the kids cupcakes. And I was like, I think it would be so good if we put the fluff inside the vanilla cupcake and maybe like a peanut butter icing. It's called the Fluffernutter. And I did not know. I'm 33 years old, and I did not know that it had a name. like I thought that was super like secretive, and I was a part of the cool kids club, cool kids club, and no, it's a known thing. It's called Fluffernutter. If you guys, I'm telling you guys, it is well. I'm a Pisces, so I have addictive personality. So I'll eat the same thing. If I really like something, I can eat it every day. But Fluffernutter is the way to go. Is the way to go. But guys, let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, next week we will not be on live. How did as a kid really feel? I still have it till this day. Every so often I will have it. So I need to watch my weight though. So I only have one slice of bread and I have the peanut butter and the fluff sandwich and I just fold it. Ooh. We just call it peanut butter and fluff, but it's actually Fluffernutter. Yes, it's called Fluffernutter. Look, Google it. I'm telling you, you guys will not be disappointed. Leave me a message and tell me that it was delicious. UNPR, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Whoa. I love Puerto Rico. We went there. Man, it's been a year already, babe.
Yeah.
A year. We won a trip to Puerto Rico at an event and we had a great time. So yeah. Popular up north. Okay. I just never seen anybody else eat it. That's the thing, right? Like she was and I don't know like I don't even know if it's an ethnicity type of thing, but the girl who I went camping with, she's Caucasian, and I thought it was just maybe like a Caucasian thing. But I don't care what it is. It was great. It was fantastic. So I already made cupcakes for the kids, and we're gonna finish up the make our little Fluffernutter cupcakes. But yeah, guys, interest rates are slowly coming down. Hopefully I think we're gonna be in a like a normal market in the sense of, you know, the interest rates are gonna stay in like the fives, high six, maybe even low fours. That would be nice. Sticks to the roof of your mouth, girl. Oh, that sounds so good. But no, I gotta be good and eat meatloaf. That don't even sound appetizing. Like I'm gonna go eat some meatloaf. That don't sound like. Tell me, guys. Like that don't sound. But my husband did. So we're trying to. So whenever we go to Ocala, we go to the Ocala market on Saturdays. Make sure, yeah, go to my video because you guys could see the Ocala farmers market. We try to get like the meats from the farmers and things like that. But we got these big, no lie, like really big ribs. So my husband seasoned them and we just kind of like slow cook them in the oven. Oh guys, what you guys need to do, let me tell you, especially if you have a big family, the best thing to do is to make breakfast on the Blackstone. Is 1, 2, 3. And I'll prep, but I'm not standing out there in the heat. My eyelashes are gonna slowly come out. So I prepped this morning and my husband cooked outside and the breakfast was 1, 2, 3. The kids were like, oh my goodness, this is so good. So if you guys get yourselves a Blackstone, I'm telling you, you will not. The pancakes, the eggs. What we've done, we've done pancakes, eggs, shaved steak, bacon. It's good. Everything should change after the elections. We shall see. We shall see. Ursula said, I've heard about Everby and fell in love since the very first time. Oh, Everby is beautiful. It is really a beautiful community and I love the location. But again, you're paying for the location. We're not quite there yet. We'll be there eventually, but those prices are a little bit out of my no, because you already got like over $1 million houses in there. So, well, let me know if you guys have any questions, if I can help answer anything. I'm gonna go I love you guys. I always Oh my goodness. You guys show me so much love, man. You guys, like for real, when you guys call me, ask Katrina. Katrina, if you guys haven't called me, Katrina's my assistant. I always tell everybody, you know how you have a right hand? My right hand will always be my husband. But my left hand is Katrina. Like if you call during business hours, you'll get Katrina, and she is from New York as well. She's amazing. And we love hearing, that you love our videos, and that you love us, right? Because we love you guys too, like no lie. I love that you guys rock with me. I love that you guys love me for me, right? Because I'm authentically me. What you see is what you get, hands down, all the time. So thank you. Do you have any videos at Everbee? I do. I have one video that I did at Everbee. I did their mahogany grand floor plan, and it's a beautiful freaking house. It really is. Heat and lashes, they don't get along. I totally no. Heat and lashes, no. And listen, guys, listen. Let me put you on. Let me put you on, ladies, real quick. This is not a can you give me a box, Bob? This is not a paid sponsorship or anything like that, but I gotta put you on real quick. So number one, I was spending way too much time getting my lashes done. Way too much time. So Katrina put me onto these lashes. They're called V Eyes Beauty, ladies. And this is not a promo or anything like that. I'm not getting paid for putting you on game, none of that, okay? But when I tell you, ladies, that you will save so much time and so much money, okay? Okay? So V eyes, their glue is good. It goes under the eye as clusters. I'm telling you, the best thing I've ever freaking done was this. I tried press on nails to, save time and stuff, but we're not doing press on nails. Like I have to go like this, right? Like I have to make sure that, they stuck on, right? So I can do press on nails. But these eyelashes, let me tell you, they're the best thing that I did. So much cheaper, and literally like 5 minutes on each eye. Nothing. I love it. What else? Let me see. We got you, girl. Yes. I love that, Janine. I always see your comments. Thank you for always participating and answering questions. I know you already bought a house, but thank you for still rocking here, right? Like learning new things. I absolutely love that. Can't wait to purchase a home with you next year. Yes, guys. Yes, we are. We remember it's we have a team. It's not a big team, but I've always been quality over quantity, right? The last thing I want is some lazy real estate agent not treating my people right. Like we throw hands over here. Not just kidding. But nah, I really, it's me, Vic is licensed, and Dylan is a great agent, and then we have Katrina, and then I have my Colombian family, which I absolutely love them. My editor, my social media manager, they are amazing. We have a really solid small team, just how I absolutely love it. I don't need no more big stuff. You guys know that I have 6 kids already, right? Oh, let's talk about Malachi real quick. Malachi has been having such a great week. Like, I think Monday and Tuesday he has sad faces, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he had happy faces. And we actually had a meeting with the school, right? And I had to kind of like, let them know about him, and, because this is a new school. Remember, he got kicked out of the school last year. And so I just had to have that conversation. Like, listen, you guys are setting way too much expectations for my little boy, right? Like I understand you guys have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, like I understand that, but he's too we need to let's set the goals a little bit low. Like let's work on one thing. And the biggest thing that the teacher was like is him just getting out his seat, like walking around, just being a distraction, right? But my little boy was making paper airplanes. He was making swords for all his friends. out of paper is, guys, I told you that he is so like creative. And so you had his teacher was like, they be at recess and flying paper airplanes, flying swords and things like that. And I'm like, I told Malachi, I was like, please don't make a gun. Like, please don't make a gun, right? Like it's gonna go from left to right all the way. So, but Malachi is 7.5. But if you're new to my live, right? If you're new to my channel, if you're new to my story, my husband and I have 6 kids. We have 3 biological sons, which is Aiden, Eli, and Caleb. Aiden is 14. I got a 14-year-old. Eli is 11, about to be 12, and then Caleb is 9. And then we adopted a sibling group of 3. So we have 2 girls, 1 boy. So Cassidy is 10. Catalina is 9 as well as Caleb. And then Malachi is 7, about to be 8. So I already told the school, I already told his teacher, like, we're gonna have to like set the standards just a little bit low. And just we bought him these blue bands. So because okay, Malachi cannot stay still, right? Malachi is everywhere. Okay, so they put tape around his you probably like, tape around his what? Tape around his chair, but on the floor. So it's kind of like to give him space, like if he needs to get up, stretch a little bit or something like that, right? But he has to stay within that box. And then we also bought him these blue bands that you put on the chairs, so that if he needs to like maybe have some stimulation and he's like playing with the band on the chair and stuff like that. So we tried that. I also told him, you guys know how I said last week that he wanted to have lunch, a one-on-one with me. So if he had 4 smiley faces. So unfortunately he didn't hit that goal. But what I was telling Vic that we should do is that have kind of like a chart, and then like, okay, you get, because I want him to even be happy that he got at least a smiling face in a week or something like that, right? So like 1 smiling face gives you this, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So I think that's kind of like a reward system based off of that. But I also we can't have this boy like you thinking he's gonna do all his work, he's gonna sit in his seat, he's not gonna talk to anybody, and if he doesn't do all of that, then if he does 1 out of 5, he's still getting a sad face, which doesn't make any sense to me, right? Every child is different. Yomar, hi Alexis, how are you? It's Yomar and Ocala. We met while I was creating content a couple of months ago. Keep up the good work. I love your content. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I hope everything is going good with you. Yeah, thank you for showing love. I can see that. Yep, the mom and son lunch is happening soon. It is. You love my dogs, Phil. Thank you. You know, sometimes I've been really wanting to do kind of like a day in the life with the dogs, the kids, and stuff like that. I'm like working towards it because it's just a lot. It's a lot to handle with all the kids, all the dogs, and they all fight for each other's for my attention and things like that. But the dogs are crazy. We have 8 dogs. We have a chaotic house. But thank you guys so much. I'm gonna get off. We're gonna go finish our Flutter Nutter cupcakes. I'll let you guys know how those come out. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Stay safe, stay blessed, and don't forget, like, comment, subscribe on my channel, my videos. Tomorrow, St. Cloud. Tuesday, Ocala. Very, very nice Ocala home. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. Tile all throughout the house. You have the quartz countertops with the gold veins, the gold accent faucets, and things like that. So that's a really, really nice house, priced at $310,000. Covered lanai, 1/4 of an acre. So I'm excited about that house. And then next Sunday, I won't be here. We're going away for the weekend. So we won't have a live next Sunday, but the following Sunday, I'm really going to try to have a insurance agent come on so we could chop it up and let them know, let you guys know anything that you want to know. Okay. Well, anyways, I love you guys. Don't forget to comment, subscribe to Sunshine State Living and comment so that the videos could go out into the YouTube universe. Love you guys.